pick a card. Any card. I'm going to show you a card trick that has as its basis for its magic an iterative function. And there are some tricks out there, magic tricks, which are based upon fixed point iterations, such as I showed in the last video. And this is, of course, no exception to that. And so I like to show this in class. I think it's kind of fun. This card trick, incidentally, is one I learned as a kid. Some of you probably have seen it or something very similar to it. So I'm going to reposition the camera so that it shines down on the table and show you this trick in action. Well, I'm going to demonstrate a magic trick with cards, and the explanation for the trick, as I mentioned, is a fixed point of an iterative function. And so we'll see this in action. I like to do this trick in class when I get a chance. And it's an old trick. You've probably seen it before. Some of you have probably seen it before, rather. I learned it as a kid. So here we go. I have a shuffled deck of cards. I'm going to lay out 3 columns of 7 cards. So I'm going to deal these out. And this is unbelievably awkward here on my table with the camera nearby and the lamp in front of me in my way. But we'll get through this okay. And I see that the top card is not totally visible. Won't worry about it. Let's pick a card. Suppose that we picked, now the victim picks a card, and of course the magician has no idea what card they're picking. And so the magician says, well, did you pick a card? And you say, yes. And, well, what column does it appear in? Column 3. All right, so I'm going to pick the king of diamonds. So that'll be our secret. We picked the king of diamonds. So the magician folds these up rather quickly. Of course, when I play this, I go through all the usual banter, and I tell the class that, better hurry up because I'm memorizing all the cards. And it's, a lie, of course. Magicians lie. That's what they do very well at. Alright, so I'm going to redeal the cards. And 3 columns, 7 rows. And we'll keep an eye out for that. There's that king of diamonds. Showed up there. Alright, so the magician asks the victim, well, where's your card now? And he says, well, it's in the 3rd column. Okay. And it was. The king of diamonds was in the 3rd column. So picks up the cards. And if you notice, I'm putting the chosen column into the middle position of the deck. And so the column that's chosen is always put in the middle. Alright, so one more time and we should be able to finish this trick. So I'll deal these out, and here it is. I knew it would show up. If you do this right, it always appears in the 4th position of its column. So now the victim says, well, now it's in the 1st column. Very well. So it was in this column. So we pick up the cards, and I'm awkward at this again as I'm reaching around things to show this. So now the magician says, I think I know what card that is. So he starts going through his shtick. Says, well, let's see, it's not that one. Uh-oh, getting warm. Is that it? Shakes a little bit. No, that's not it. Says, that's got to be it. King of diamonds. Of course, usually no one asks the magician to name the card before he flips it over, because he can't. I couldn't do it. Even if I did memorize the cards. Well, I could, because I know how the trick works. So I guess I could tell you what card it is. But I knew it would show up in the 11th position when I did that. So what's going on there? The first application of the function is when the victim picks the column and the magician folds them up and puts that column in the middle. So what that does, it puts the correct card in positions 8 through 14 of the deck. because it's in the middle column. And then he deals them out. And then when we do this the second time, the second iteration of this process, the magician folds it up. The cards have been actually restricted further to only, I think, 1 of 3 positions. And then on this third try, when you pick the column, you're just telling the magician where it is, and it always ends up in the 4th position of the column that's chosen. And so if you put that deck in the middle, that means you're going to count off 11 cards, 7 plus 4, to get that card. So what's happening there is that each repetition of that dealing and picking up, you think of that as a function, and you take its output and then you reinsert it into the function. In other words, you repeat that process again. And this is designed so that the trick works because the card that's been chosen migrates to a fixed position, the 11th position. So that's the fixed point. Kind of like in the video where we found the cube root of 2, that was the fixed point for that iterative process. This process leads to a fixed point of, in this case, a king of diamonds. So anyway, there's just kind of a fun illustration of a fixed point iteration. Not terribly useful, but entertaining. And I would say there are some card tricks out there, or other magic tricks that are based on this principle. Probably not too many, but there are some that are mathematical in nature rather than sleight of hand. All right, well, that concludes our magic show for the day, and we'll move on from here.